You could in the chat. Maybe you could, if you want, in the channel later to restate my questions to then cut them.
Okay, I will restate your questions so we can get them on recording. So let's do it. Let's start. So, is Ethereum the same thing as the blockchain? Actually, no. Like Ethereum is a blockchain. So when we say blockchain technology, we are actually talking about a type of technology that uses cryptography to secure information. And yes, just like you say, Larry, when you were making your question, it is completely transparent. It is very good. Sorry. It is very good technology because it allows us to create a network of people that take care of these transactions. We are talking about transactions, about a record. And this network of people, they are validating these transactions using cryptography, and it's completely transparent. So anyone that has a skill, and it requires some skill because it's not easy, can take a look at the blockchain and see what are the transactions that have been made since the beginning of the blockchain. So Bitcoin has its own blockchain, right? The same way that Ethereum has its own blockchain. Ethereum is a blockchain. And there are what we can call layer two blockchains. Like, for example, Ethereum has the Polygon blockchain, which is a blockchain inside the Ethereum blockchain, but it has different properties because it can scale much faster. The same way that Bitcoin has the Lightning Network, which is kind of a blockchain inside the Bitcoin blockchain. So you also ask, is Ethereum a blockchain or a cryptocurrency? So we have the Ethereum blockchain and we have ETH, which is the Ethereum coin. So there is a blockchain for Ethereum, and that is ETH, which is the coin that powers this blockchain, because the coin in a blockchain like Ethereum, which has a lot of utilities and things that you can do, the coin is the means to power the blockchain. Like it's what you use to make the blockchain possible. Was that clear?
Yes, I'm just making sure. You said Ethereum has its own blockchain, and if it's its coin, Bitcoin has its own blockchain, and its coin is Bitcoin, right? And Polygon, you said, is a layer two blockchain which has its own properties, and it can grow exponentially.
It's because every blockchain they have a trilemma, I believe. Let me see the blockchain trilemma. So what is the blockchain trilemma? Like every blockchain struggles with 3 points between security, decentralization, and speed. So I believe they can focus on 2 of those, but they have to do this sacrificing the other. Like Ethereum is very secure and it's very good for decentralization, but it's not so good for speed because the security and the decentralization take from the speed. They make the speed side of things harder to accomplish. But the Polygon network has much more speed. They can process much more transactions, but I believe it sacrifices on security. because it's a layer 2 solution. So there is a door between the Ethereum and the Polygon blockchain, which people can exploit. I don't know exactly if it is like that. Please, I'm just communicating the information that I have. I'm not a blockchain developer expert and things like that. I might be going just on the surface of that, but what I'm saying is on the right direction, just might have more layers to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. One quick
Ethereum,
question
yes.
about what you said. You said there are three properties, which is speed, security, and what
And
is the
decentralization.
okay, decentralization.
Because
What
it's
does it mean?
are you seeing my screen?
No, I'm just seeing your camera.
Interesting.
You need to share, I
Let me
think,
share again. I was sharing. Does it show right now?
Okay, maybe because I saw I saw you and myself cameras. Now I see.
Okay. So decentralization, because every blockchain technology solution aims to create decentralization. Right now, we have a pretty much centralized monetary system with, I believe it's BSI, BIS, like BIS bank. Okay. Yes, the Bank of International Settlements. This is the entity that controls the financial system in the world. And they also make recommendations and they guide people on what to do. And they are not communicating with me and you, they are communicating with the most wealthy people in the world. So when they speak in their documents about what they want for the future and everything, it's not with our best interest in mind, with it is with the
Their own
wealthiest interest in mind. Hello, Amal. We are talking about blockchain technology and NFTs. I'm answering Larry's questions. If you have questions, you can raise your hand and we can take notes on them, and then I'll answer them later. Okay? So, Ethereum is about to change. They are about to have an update that will change the proof, the validation method that they use from peer-to-peer, which is computers validating, which is what you say, like about mining, to a staking mechanics that will be make it much more faster. So we have to wait and see how these things develops, how this develops. But Ethereum is about to have, like, if everything goes well, it will become much more valuable in the future because many more things will be possible with Ethereum. I do believe a lot in Ethereum as a network for the future, you know?
You believe more in Ethereum than in the Bitcoin blockchain because it's more secure and more decentralized, and Bitcoin is more
They have
about speed.
they have completely different positions. It's necessary to understand the history. Like, let me take note of this. So Bitcoin, it's necessary to understand what is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like a minimum viable product. It's like a validation product. So people, when they created Bitcoin, they were thinking they were about to create a new currency, like you could pay things with Bitcoin and things like that, which is not exactly what Bitcoin became. Bitcoin became much more of a store of value currency, like gold, something that is secure for you to store your money in. The market on blockchain technology is still very young, so there is a lot of fluctuation in the value of things, but we believe that in the future, like the economists, they believe that in the future, those currencies, they will stabilize in a more like safe position for people to put their money in. And Bitcoin is going to be much like a store of value. And Bitcoin is going to be much more like a store of value thing. And how does this work? Um, let me talk more about like the past and the history. Um, so they created Bitcoin, thinking it would be a currency, and they realized it would not. But then at some point, this guy called Vitalik Buterin, I believe. Let me see. Ethereum creator. Vitalik Buterin, he realized he was a editor of a magazine talking about Bitcoin and blockchain, and he's also a developer. So he realized that the blockchain and this cryptography technology could be used to do much more than just have a coin in there. So it could be used to put contracts and things like that. So he started developing Ethereum. And Ethereum began with the currency and not much, but then people started to develop solutions. Layer 2 networks started to appear. People created NFT technology, and then a bunch of things happened, like CryptoKitties came, and they found out that you could put properties into the NFTs, and you could breed NFTs, and then people started to create the randomly generated profile pictures, which is like algorithm that decides a unique DNA for each NFT. A bunch of things happens. And the important things for us to understand is that a bunch of things will still continue to happen. That is like we are just starting to develop what blockchain technology will be for the future. And we have no idea of the solutions that will be created on the future using blockchain technology, using NFTs, and many things that will come. But to answer your question, I cannot say that it's not a matter of me believing more on Bitcoin or on Ethereum. They have completely different propositions. They have completely different use cases. Bitcoin is a store of value. I believe in Bitcoin as a store of value, much more than gold, because now who knows how much gold there is in the world, you know? And we can even mine asteroids in the future. So there will be a point where gold will just not be as valuable, as rare as it is today, and it will become just like a much more common commodity. It is believed by some people that we do have much more gold than it is on the market. We just create the illusion of it being rarer than it is, so to sustain its value. Um, so who knows? I don't know about those things, but I do know that Bitcoin is limited. I do know that when the market mature, we'll have a price for it. There will be, and it will work much better as a store of value. Because what is value if we think about it? It's like you can say, but I do have gold, Bruno. I have it in my hands. It's physical, it's real, and Bitcoin is just data in a computer. But gold is just data, let's say it like that, atoms organized in a certain way. It has uses, real uses, but Bitcoin also has uses, real uses. It's just that we are still opening our mind to understand that what is digital is as real as what is material. also is. It's like a different dimension. And the value of things we decided, the price on the market changes every day for everything. So we decide what value is. Of course, that if we live in an environment of scarcity where people are poor, food is much more valuable than Bitcoin might be. But if we live in a place of abundance, which is what we wish to create in the future, where everybody has their necessities met and they have food, they have health, they have shelter, they have all that taken care of. And now they think, what can I do with my time? Then we can have great value to digital things like Bitcoin because we live in abundance, you know? So now we are just keeping a track on what people individually or families in a heritage point of view contributed to the community. So what's the value that they have accumulated so far? Does it this answer your question?
Yes, it answered a lot of questions. And about the value thing, I fully agree because I agree. We as society, we decide the value of things. If it's psychological, if it's stocks, if it's even banking, it's we as people decide if it's trust. If a bank is trustworthy enough, then we see it's as a valuable bank or as a valuable storage. So it's just a digital one. But I had another question before you bring the next question, because I think yesterday or 2 days ago I heard because the market is so new and so after the hype, after these I don't know how much time has passed. I think these 10 years, 20 years of the Bitcoin market or the blockchain in general. If the federal or if the USA will take a stance, or if the globe, if globally it will be much more restricted, like the SEC or like the FDA in the science of not just biology, but I think you understood my point. If it will be much more regulated, and if it will be much more restrictive with the changing of the Bitcoin or ETH coins into dollars or into money, then it will all the value will be gone, and everything will just dump the coins because
Mhm.
they couldn't exchange the digital coins into material wealth. So this is the question. What do
Mm.
you think will is it probably, because I think it is probable that it will become more restrictive as the world will progress with more abundance, and the world will start more and more to learn about the market, and not just about the restrictions, but what if the world will start to go in the direction of restricting people of exchanging into valuable materialistic money or other materialistic things.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, hello, Mary, first, before we go there. Hello, Mary. Welcome. I'm answering Larry's questions on blockchain technology and NFTs. If you do have a question, please raise your hand and we'll give you time to ask, okay? So, okay, people are not interested. I do realize that the system Mindvalley is using to publish these calls makes so that many people hop into the calls and they don't have no idea what the call is about. You know, we try to make descriptions and everything, but I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a new market, and a lot of people just it's hard to get yourself to understand a whole new market, a digital market that no one still yet to understand. I heard I think it's a 1.8 trillion, just this the whole blockchain market, which is compared to stocks or the stock market with I think which is I think 170 trillion, or the bigger one,
Mhm.
300 trillion, which is, how do I say it in English? when you buy not commodities, but when you buy a house. I forgot the name of the market.
Real estate.
Real estate, yes, which is much more bigger than it. Where people know the market, it's much more interesting to how to say it, to understand it, because it's appealing. But when it's very new market, people just don't understand it. It's very hard to learn
Yeah.
new things.
So coming back to your question, by the way, this only shows how blockchain is young, because in the future, everything will be done with the blockchain. There's no way back, and it will grow so much. Even the real estate market, for you to have an idea, will be inside blockchain technology, because they will want to make this easier. Like
Yeah,
NFTs
the
will make the
transparency.
trading of real estate much easier.
The transparency of contracts, and maybe, yeah, I agree. Okay, I understand.
Yes. So let's go. What if the federal entities, you mentioned some US federal entities, but let's say global regulatory entities, decide to be more restrictive about blockchain. We spoke about the BIS. This is a global entity, and they are pretty much against blockchain. But if you take a look at their report, you will see that it's not they are against blockchain, it's that they are against the people developing their own blockchain. They are proposing some solutions to the problems they say blockchain create, which is decentralization, because if we decentralize wealth, we will take the power that they have, because they are the entity that decides how much money is printed and everything like that. So they propose what is pretty much like a blockchain, but it's a centralized blockchain controlled by them. You know? So they're like, oh, blockchain is not good. That is this, and this problem. We can solve this problem. How? By creating our own blockchain that we control, and everything will keep the way it is, like centralized, because that's what they want. So regulations will come. Let's imagine, like, that's what we talk about in my project. Like, that is a lore, a story that we are creating. And this story, it has to do with many things that happen in our reality and how we wish to change it. But if you take a look at the tattoos that we are creating, there is this tattoo here. I'll take a better picture. I was talking with the girl that has this tattoo, and we'll take a better picture of it to put here. And I'll create an NFT about it. And this tattoo is about the battle of creation, where the enemy, the void, is fighting the ally, which is the unity, for the tools of creation in our future. So every depiction of the void, like for example, a tattoo artist or an artist can create a depiction of the void and unity, and it will be like it can be like a snake fighting a lion. So it's always the enemy and the ally. And there is a lot of symbols here. Everyone has a meaning. Like there is a portal. If you take a look at the art we are creating, there are some art here already on our collections, like sacred art manifestation. If you like to buy art, you can keep an eye on this. We are putting the collection together. We will see how we will sell it. But these portals here, they are portals. They are illustrations of portals that connect our reality to the reality we are creating on the metaverse. So that is a lot of things. Like this is a character, this two, the twins, curiosity and desire. Like we are creating a story. And this story is actually an analogy for things that are happening right now in our world. Like the BIS is trying to kill the future we wish to create with blockchain technology. And blockchain technology doesn't mean that we will solve all the problems of society. It just means that we have a new degree, like in a big staircase, and we are creating this degree. We are actually making it right now, the next degree. And that is a battle to see how much decentralization we will get from this new degree that we are creating. Will it, like, the BIS is trying to make it continue centralized. But then there is people like Vitalik Buterin, which are creating Ethereum, and people that are developing new solutions that are trying to create a future which is less centralized. And the authorities, they are with an eye to it, and they are not rushing into creating the regulation, because they pretty much want to see how things go on. But regulations will come. Right now, the market is very open. Like, it's sad because we had, for example, the ICOs, which is initial coin offerings, which was a great technology where I could create my coin and raise money to start a project. And a lot of money was raised, like millions and millions, hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars, probably billions of dollars. The problem is that the people, they, by the way, this call is going to end in 1 minute. We can hop back in. But the problem is that the people, many people, and unfortunately, many people that are willing to learn and develop these new technologies, they use this knowledge to just steal and take advantage of people that had less knowledge than them. So a lot of these ICOs, they were just like schemes. And then the regulatory system looks at it, they wait and see what's being done. And they look at it and say, okay, so this ICO thing is not safe. And they come and they make it very difficult to happen. You see, so the regulations will come, but it's up to us. What do we do with this technology so that the regulators, they help us into creating this better future, and they don't make it hard enough, because the capital want us to